Okay, guys, we're back for another video. We are actually going to look at the response from Todd Tucker. As you guys know, Kandi Burruss did file for divorce. And I told you guys, I gave you a high level overview of what was in the documents, but I'm actually now going to just share the documents with you. And we're going to walk through and read his responses so you guys can see it for yourself. Because some of y'all was saying he had an attorney. But as I said in the document said that he did not have an attorney that was there and that there were conversation about a prenup, but it really didn't go through the full process. That's pretty much what the documents say. So let's get into it. Make sure you guys are liking the video. She don't miss nothing, got the scoop on lock. Spilling all the tea while it's still too hot. Lakeysha Keysha, queen of the plot. Hit that bell cause the tea don't stop.
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Eh? Yes.
She don't miss nothing, got the scoop on lock. Spilling all the tea while it's still too hot. Lakeysha Keysha, queen of the plot. Hit that bell cause the tea don't stop. Okay, guys, so I have it here on my screen. I'm actually going to switch off so I can see it a little bit bigger. I had to do some marking on it because there was, addresses and stuff on here. Their address, so I had to go through it. I just went through it really fast because if I sat here and read every single thing, I wouldn't have been able to do the video because I'd be like, I'm over it. Okay, so this is Todd's response. As you guys can see, the date, November 26th, okay? His attorney is Randy. As I told y'all, Randy Kessler. Okay, in the Superior Court of Fulton County, state of Georgia. This is family division. As Kandi, when she filed her petition, initials K, Lanice Tucker. That's why we couldn't find it. And then 𝐸 Tucker. Okay. Now, what it says is, keep in mind, Todd is the respondent because he's responding to the divorce that Kandi filed. So as the respondent, this is what he had to say. Answer and counterclaim for divorce and other relief. So this is Randy. Comes now respondent, Todd Tucker, Todd Tucker, 𝐸 Tucker, whatever, by and through his counsel of record, Randy M. Kessler. And then Randy has another attorney that works with him. I think her name is Asha Hayward James. And obviously they work for, Kessler's law firm. Okay. Now here's the overview. Todd, who's the husband, Kandi, who's the petitioner. They were married April 4th, 2014. Now get into this, y'all. I kind of highlighted and underlined it and whatever y'all want to call it, scribble scrabble, because some of this was very important. It says on April 4th, 2014, on the same day that they were married. Remember, I kept saying, didn't he sign the prenup on the date that they got married? Some of y'all was like, he had it for a while. I don't know how long he had it. Neither do you. But what we do know is he signed it on the date that he got married. And this is what the documents say. So let's get into the facts and not what we think. Now, it says that the husband, was presented with this prenuptial agreement without husband having counsel. Y'all do know what that means. It means he did not have an attorney. This is what the documents say, okay? So we're not guessing, watching TV. Some of that stuff is scripted. Everything you see on TV is not real. But according to his attorney, Todd's attorney said that Todd was presented with this prenuptial agreement and he did not have counsel. It also says, even though wife's then counsel had communicated previously with the undersigned regarding a potential prenuptial agreement. So it looks like there was some talk about the prenuptial agreement. However, this document says that Todd did not have an attorney. Now, I know y'all watched the show and y'all think y'all know what y'all saw, and you probably did see it, but that does not mean that that was part of really what happened. This document says that he did not have an attorney. Y'all know what he did not have an attorney means.
I'm just going by what this document says. I don't have time to be guessing. I'm just going to go by what the black and white says. This document said the man didn't have an attorney. That's what it says. It said despite the previous attorney bringing the information, basically saying that there were going to be a potential prenuptial agreement, this said he didn't have one. So I don't know what y'all talking about in the comments. Now, it says the minor children are currently in husband's care and residing with him in Georgia, while wife's out-of-state work obligations have required and will continue to require her to be away from the children for at least the next several months. The parties have been working together pretty much in an effort to resolve all issues, and husband remains committed to continuing those discussions in good faith. However, in the hopeful, unlikely event that the parties are unable to reach a full agreement, husband shows that he will seek an award of primary physical custody, joint legal custody, and final decision-making authority. So I'm not a lawyer, but it looks like he wants to have the primary physical custody, and then it says joint custody, whatever. But if you're a lawyer, break that part down, okay? Because the way that I'm looking at it is, I remember when my kids were young, I had primary and then we had joint. Lawyers, if you hear, break that shit down, because that's what the document says. I'm just here to read it. What I know, I can tell you. What I don't know, I ain't gonna tell you, okay? This also says, with wife having substantial time and meaningful access to the children. So he ain't trying to say, give me the kids, girl. I'm taking the kids. He's like, look, you're working. I'm going to keep the kids. Since you will be gone, I want to have the decision-making authority, because think about it. If Kandi is away, which she will be away, and God forbid something happened, he got to make the decisions. He got to be able to make decisions. And even if it's nothing bad, he still has to make the decisions if there's no other parent there. You got to understand, she's not going to always be available via the phone. Not, always the moment that you call. Okay. So it also says husband wishes to make this clear. And I said this in my last video. He recognizes Kandi, the wife, as a loving and capable parent, and remains sincerely hopeful that prior and continued discussions between the parties will bring about a full resolution and resolve the matters, which I think is really good, because unfortunately they have to go through this. He putting the language in there like, hey, I'm not saying that she a bad mother or that she did something that I'm concerned about. That's not what I'm saying. I'm simply saying that I need to have custody, simply because, she is worldwide, honey. She worldwide. Now, first defense, husband affirmably shows that petitioner's petition for divorce petition is procedurally deficient under this Georgia statute, y'all. Specifically, it says that Kandi, who is the petitioner, failed to verify the petition as required by subsection A and 2. And it says she didn't list the state. She didn't state the residence or the last known address of the respondent. And he's saying that this is required. If y'all know, Kandi did not put an address on there. So he's citing it like, this is not correct. Okay. And he also stated that they did not provide the name and age of each minor child as required. Okay, so Randy is like trying to point it out like, girl, your attorney don't know what she's doing, but I don't know. He's saying, listen, this is supposed to be in there under this statute. You did not put in the last known address, nor did you put in the kids' ages in your petition or their names, okay? Now, it said husband reserves all rights to challenge the sufficiency of the petition based upon the statutory deficiencies. Now, We're going to skip this part where it says response to petition for divorce, because in all honesty, I would have to get her petition and see what each one of these mean. Because what it says, this is what it says, response to petition for divorce. It says, husband admits allegations contained in paragraph 1. I don't even know what those are. I literally would have to go back and get it. So I'm not going to even go into that until I go and see what each one of those mean. And I don't have that, and I'm not even gonna make this video that long. So we're gonna skip that because y'all just want to know what Todd had to say, okay? Because this goes into whatever allegations, and I'm gonna highlight it right here, that was in her former petition. And I have to look at it because I ain't see no allegations. I thought it said that basically they was, she wanted a divorce because the marriage was broken. Like it couldn't be fixed. So we gonna skip all of this saying that he admits, he denies, because I don't know what the reference would be for this. So we're gonna skip these for now, okay? And let me see. I think we have to skip. Okay, so we're going to pick it up back here because like I said, this is just saying that he admits and he denies. But again, I don't know where to tie it to, so I'm not even going to read it. I don't know. We're going to skip that. Okay, so we're going to pick it back up on page 3. Okay, it says the allegations contained in paragraph 10 of the petition required no response from the husband, as it contains petitioner's request for relief. To the extent that a response is required, husband admits in part that the parties signed a prenuptial agreement dated April 4th, 2014, by way of further response. Husband directs the court to husband's counterclaim for divorce and other relief for husband's further response to the allegations contained in paragraph 10, which response is incorporated herein. And I'm going to look that up later because I don't know exactly what these, allegations mean unless I go and look at the other part. So we just going to skip this right here. This is more allegations. That's getting juicy because I didn't see any allegations when she filed it. So let's go on down to, it says right here, and that's what I'm saying. We're going to get into the allegations in another video because I don't know what the allegations are. It says any allegations not specifically admitted to herein are denied. Now it gets into, we're on page 3. Wherefore husband prays that any prayers for relief in the petition be denied to the extent they conflict with the relief sought by husband. Now here is his counterclaim right here. Counterclaim right here. Okay. See my little scribble scrabble. It says comes now 𝐸 Tucker, who is the respondent, by and through his undersigned counsel, and files this counterclaim for divorce and other relief, respectfully showing the court as follows. Husband is and has been a resident of Fulton County, state of Georgia, for 6 months prior to the date of filing of this counterclaim for divorce and other relief. Petitioner is a resident of Fulton County, state of Georgia, by virtue of filing the above. This is basically saying, yeah, they live in Georgia. They've been here for at least 6 months, because I guess that is the requirement. You have to have been in the state of Georgia for 6 months before you can file for divorce. Okay. Stated complaint, wife is subject to the jurisdiction and venue of this court. The parties were lawfully married on or about April 4th, 2014, and are currently living in a bona fide state of separation. Now, keep in mind, guys, as I told you all before, I'm not a lawyer. Now, to me, I thought bona fide state of separation was like, y'all don't live together. That's not what that means, okay? Remember in my last video, I had mentioned that I was watching 2 lawyers, and they were saying that is not what a bona fide state of separation do not mean he moved out. Okay, so just so you guys know, it is whenever the parties felt like the marriage is, we're in a, we're separated. It could be a mental thing. Okay. There are 2 minor children born as issue of the marriage. Wait, y'all, I got to fix something. Just give me a second.
Okay, so there are two. Where did I leave off? Okay, there are two minor children born as issue of marriage. We got A. Tucker, we know that's Ace, who is a male child born in 2016, and then B. Tucker, a female child born in 2019. Okay, husband shows that he should be awarded temporary and permanent legal custody of the party's children, as well as final decision making authority. Okay, this is what I said earlier, but we're just going through the documents. Husband shows that he should be awarded temporary and permanent primary physical custody of the children in the event the parties are unable to resolve all issues privately. The court should determine all matters related to the minor children in accordance to a Georgia law. Now, keep in mind, guys, that he's putting, the things that he wants out there, provided that they don't come up with some kind of mutual consent where they're going to go forward or whatever. He like, look, this is what I want. Now, it goes into saying, in accordance with whatever this Georgia law statute is, husband shows the following. The minor children have resided with the parties at the marital residence located at, and I scratched it out. Y'all don't even know these folks' address, in Atlanta, Georgia, since birth. Husband has not participated as a party or a witness in any other capacity in any other litigation concerning custody of the party's minor children in this or any other state. Husband has no information concerning any other custody proceeding concerning the minor children presently pending in any other court in this or any other state. And husband knows of no person, not a party to this proceeding, who has physical custody of the minor children or claim to have custody or visitation rights with respect to said minor children. Now, in the event the parties are unable to resolve these issues at mediation or otherwise, husband requests that these issues be heard at the 30-day status conference scheduled for January 12th, 2026, or in the alternative fashion, that this matter be scheduled for a temporary hearing at the court's earliest convenience to address temporary custody, parenting time, and all other temporary issues necessary to promote the best interests of the minor children and to ensure clarity and stability for the parties pending final resolution of this action, which I agree. Y'all know how, in a divorce, it gets nasty. Now Todd is all over the blogs. Just last week, Kandi was all over the blogs. Now Todd all over the blogs, and, people start feeling a certain kind of way. This stuff gets to them. So they're asking for a emergency hearing to address the children. Todd wants temporary custody of these children until they can resolve this matter, because pretty much what he's saying is, I got them anyway. We need to address this, which again is going to help them move forward so that they don't be in each other's face like that, and maybe have some kind of set where, okay, if Kandi is traveling for 3-4 months, obviously she probably ain't gonna be here, but then as soon as she returned, Todd give her the kids, however that goes. So this is what they're trying to address. Husband is entitled to a divorce from the petitioner on the grounds that the marriage is broken. Okay, that is what she said. And there are no prospects for reconciliation. So Todd is saying the same thing Kandi's saying. She don't want him and he don't want her. This is what these documents say. Husband is further entitled to a total divorce. They don't want each other, honey. They are trying to go about their merry way. While husband remains hopeful that the parties can resolve all issues privately, husband expressly reserves the right to assert and add additional grounds for divorce as permitted by law. So he's saying, look, I hope we can, come to some kind of agreement privately, but if we don't,
This is what he wants. Husband shows that the parties signed a prenuptial agreement, and that was on April 4th, 2014, which is crazy because I thought that was the date that they got married. Now, y'all, I'm going to check something because I need to find out something. Okay. Oh, y'all, this is not good. They actually got married on the day he signed the prenuptial agreement. I just needed to be sure. Okay, so the prenuptial agreement was signed the day that they got married. It says immediately prior, let me just get back. Okay, good. You guys can see. It says, let me just start over. Husband shows that the party signed a prenuptial agreement dated April 4th, 2014, which was the date that they got married. He said immediately prior to the wedding ceremony, petitioner's counsel, which is Kandi's lawyer at the time, was fully aware that husband was represented by Randy and had been actively communicating with his attorney. So in the beginning, I'm going to kind of explain something. In the beginning, it said he didn't have an attorney. So what I'm getting from this is, what am I trying to say? Todd was in communication with Randy, but somehow Randy and this attorney had spoke about this prenuptial agreement, but somehow Todd was able to get this signed, and somehow this attorney never reached out to Randy. And generally, y'all, that's what attorneys do. Like they say, listen, let me get your attorney on the line. So let's kind of read it and see what Randy is saying. It says petitioner's counsel at the time was fully aware that a husband was represented by Randy and had been actively communicating with his attorney regarding the terms of the potential prenuptial agreement. Despite that knowledge, petitioner, which is Kandi's counsel, presented the final agreement to Todd for his signature immediately before the wedding ceremony without any notice to or consultation with Randy, who had been significantly engaged in the negotiation process. So Randy was somehow in this process, but then somehow when they say Todd didn't have an attorney, I'm speculating what they meant is he didn't have an attorney there at that time. So it was kind of like, look, sign this. That's what I'm getting, because at first it said he didn't have an attorney, but now it's saying he did. So that's what I'm gathering from it. Okay. Now, it says, despite that knowledge, Kandi's counsel presented the final agreement to Todd for his signature immediately before the wedding ceremony without any notice to or any consultation with Randy, who had been significantly engaged in the negotiation process. These circumstances raise substantial questions concerning the what, y'all? Enforceability of the prenuptial agreement. Nevertheless, husband remains committed to working in good faith to resolve this matter and privately to the extent possible. So let me just jump in there and tell y'all something. He has not said he's going to challenge the prenuptial agreement, but what they doing is they are putting it out there to say, hey, these things happened, okay? But we still want to work this out. So I feel like Randy is putting that in there as leverage to say, look, it's a possibility now. We can challenge this here thing. And if we win, you're going to be pretty upset. So I don't get I don't feel like they're saying we are going to challenge the prenuptial, but I feel like they're saying we could. Y'all let me know what y'all think, but I feel like they're saying we could, okay? Because they're saying that based on how the prenup went and how Todd signed it, the attorney knew that Todd had an attorney and just went to him and had him sign it. I'm gonna just let y'all know that's real crooked, because let me just kind of explain to you something. Whenever there's a situation when you're working with an attorney and this attorney is aware that you have an attorney, they ain't even supposed to be talking to you. They supposed to go to your attorney. So unfortunately, this can be an issue here, because there was no way that attorney was supposed to do anything with Todd without calling Randy and say, hey, Randy,
because that attorney was aware that he had an attorney. So I feel like they're like dangling this, like, hey, y'all know y'all did this. Yeah, let's kind of resolve this together because it can get ugly, okay? Now, during the course of the marriage, the parties have acquired various assets known and unknown to the husband. Ooh, why they say that? Tangible and intangible. Now, Todd is saying that there's assets that he don't know about. Shade. Husbands should be awarded an equitable division of all marital assets, both real property, personal, tangible, and intangible between the parties. So Todd is saying that during the course of the marriage that they have acquired various assets that he know about and some he don't. That's, I don't know, y'all. Husband shows the court that he should be awarded his separate property and any appreciation therein. Husband shows that the parties have acquired debt throughout the course of the marriage. Husband requests that such debt be divided, but it doesn't say equally divided. So we'll see how that goes. Now it says husband shows that this is a Georgia law that they cite here, provides as follows with regard to the transferring of property. Now get into this, y'all. He stated that there could be property that he don't know about. I gotta get something to drink. So he asserts that there could be property that he doesn't know about. Get into this. Todd's attorney cites a statute saying that after a petition for divorce has been filed, there is to be no transfer of property by either party, except a bona fide transfer in payment of pre-existing debts shall pass title so as to avoid the vesting thereof, according to the final verdict of the jury in this case. So Todd's attorney is saying, Kandi, don't you try to transfer property anywhere, girl. I don't know what that's all about, but that's what it says. It says, don't you try to transfer any property. Here's this Georgia law right here, and that's what it says. Don't think about it. It says, further, wife is bound by the provisions of, and it cites another Georgia statute, which provides as follows with respect to the transferring or disposition of property. Pending the final determination by the court of the right of either party to alimony, neither party shall make any substantial change in assets of the party's estate except in the course of ordinary business affairs and except for bona fide transfers for value. Now, I don't know, y'all. This seems like it's going to get ugly because Todd is making it seem like Kandi trying to transfer some stuff to maybe prevent from giving him. I don't know. Now, get into this part. I thought this was very interesting, too. I highlighted it. Husband insists that the petitioner, which is Kandi, comply with the foregoing statute in all respects. Petitioner is put on notice of not only the law of the state of Georgia, but also on notice of husband's intent to insist on full and absolute compliance. Y'all, what is this giving? Husband hereby places petitioner on notice of the following important provisions regarding evidence. Basically, he's saying, Kandi, don't try to transfer no property. Don't try to get rid of no evidence. Todd, you've been keeping evidence. Let's get into it, y'all.
You are hereby notified that Georgia law requires you to exercise reasonable care to protect and preserve evidence relevant to the issues in this case, in this action. By this notice, you are hereby given notice not to destroy, conceal, or alter any video, audio, paper, or electronic files or other data in connection with this pending litigation, including but not limited to any of the following items that are either in your possession or in your control, or which may come into your possession while this case is ongoing. What? Y'all, this gonna get ugly. They're telling Kandi, you better not transfer no property and don't try to destroy no evidence. What evidence? Ooh, y'all. Woo! Any financial records or statements, all income records, all tax records, all expense records, all recordings or evidence reflecting relevant conduct by either party. Any item that supports any defense raised by you to this petitioner, and or any item which supports any claim made by you in any counterclaim or pleading filed in this matter. You are further notified that a failure to comply with this notice may result in sanctions. Y'all know what sanctions is. It's money. You know, Tiana Taylor had to pay Iman for something small, and she had to pay him a lot of money. It says this will result in sanctions for any destruction or failures to preserve any such evidence, including, without limitation, adverse inferences against you at trial, as well as an award of expenses and attorney fees. Okay. Now it cites various cases in which these similar things happen. So we're going to skip this because it's just citing a bunch of different cases. Okay. Now it says husband is hopeful the parties will reach an agreement settling all issues pending between them. However, if such an agreement cannot be reached, husband reserves the right to amend his counterclaim accordingly. Ooh, y'all, let me break this down for y'all. Okay. This is Todd's counterclaim that I'm reading. It simply says that Todd is hopeful that they will be able to reach an agreement and settle all these issues. However, if it don't happen and they have to go to trial, he can amend this and basically add more stuff. For instance, he didn't say that he was challenging the prenuptial, but he just might if they don't come to some kind of agreement. Oh boy, I told y'all this was going to get nasty. Husband requests that the court incorporate any settlement agreement entered by the parties into a final judgment and decree of divorce. Oh, y'all, this is a lot. I'm shaking my head. What are y'all thinking about this right here? Okay. It says, wherefore husband respectfully requests that a rule require petitioner to show cause why the temporary relief requested in husband's answer and counterclaim for divorce and other relief should not be granted. So we're going to hear what Kandi says next because they want her to respond to this. Okay. That he be granted a total divorce from the petitioner upon legal principles, that is a divorce. That husband be awarded legal custody, final decision-making authority, and temporary and permanent primary physical custody of the children as determined in the children's best interest. That the court determine all matters related to the minor children in accordance with the law. That's what that is. That husband be awarded an equitable division of the marital property of the parties and be awarded his separate non-marital property and all appreciation therein. That the parties' debt is divided, their marital debt that is divided. The husband shall be entitled to, that husband be entitled to all additional relief, including ring, 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 alimony. Alimony. He wants alimony. Let me read it for y'all again. That husband be entitled to all additional relief, including alimony, child support, and in the event that the prenuptial agreement is not enforced. Let me just reread that again. That was a lot. That the husband is entitled to all additional relief, including alimony and child support, in the event that the prenuptial agreement is not enforced. Okay? Yes. That the court incorporate any settlement agreement entered into by the parties. All right. That's pretty much it, y'all. This is just certificate of service and yada, 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 yada. That was a lot. So I don't know. What do y'all think with regards to this? I mean, I don't think I have a thought about it. I just really don't, because I feel like in any situation where you're going to have, it's not like Kandi is, worth $1, $2, or $3 million. Let's look up what Kandi is worth. Now, this is probably wrong, but it's, let's see. What is Kandi Burruss net worth? And a lot of times this is wrong, but I mean, it might be higher than this. It could be a little lower than this. So this is saying, that Kandi is worth $30 million, right? So let's just go with it. Let's say she's worth $30 million. Okay. Let's just say Kandi is worth $30 million. What is Todd Tucker worth? I don't know what Todd is worth. One thing says 3 to 4 million, and then something else says 400,000. Okay, let's just say 3 to 4 million. Let's just say that. In any situation where you're dealing with two individuals where the income is significant like that, this is what happens. So I'm not surprised. And I know, a lot of people will say he just wants her money. I'm sorry. I just think very different. I feel like if this was a woman, we would be in the same situation. I feel like whenever there is a marriage and you two are breaking up, when the income is so far in between like that, somebody is looking to get alimony or something. Because let me make sure y'all understand this. When you get married and you're used to a certain lifestyle, unfortunately, you can go to court and say, listen, I've been living like this for 11 years. So I don't feel any kind of way about it. I know some people are going to be like, he's trying to take her money. But then you got to look at it like this. This is who she married. This is who she fell in love with. I don't think that Kandi is slow or dumb or anything. I feel like this is just something that did not work out. I do not think that Kandi feels like this man is trying to, use her or take her money, because I feel like she's very smart. I feel like, their relationship didn't work for whatever reason. I don't believe that she married him and had 2 children and just suddenly realized that he was trying to take her money. Now, if she comes out and tell us that, I'll be like, okay, but I just don't believe it. Again, I just believe if she's worth 30 million and he's worth 3 to 4 million, that is a significant difference. So I feel like this would happen in any other relationship if the roles were reversed. So y'all let me know what y'all think. Do y'all think Mama Joyce was right? Do y'all feel like this was just a marriage that didn't work? Or some people gonna be in the comments like, that's why I tell the women, don't be dating down. But do men date down when they get in a relationship with these broke girls that don't have nothing but a BBL. Okay. So I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Those are pretty much the court documents. I'll look at this later and reference some other documents. I just wanted to read it to y'all. So that was pretty much what this video was for. Like I said earlier, I just gave y'all a kind of high level overview, and I said I was just going to jump on here and read it. I thought it was going to take longer, but I did skip portions of it because it really didn't matter. I just really wanted to get into Todd's response. So that is the full, how many pages? I think it was like 9 pages. Yeah, so that was the full 9 pages of Todd's response. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. If you are not following me, make sure you follow me and share the video.
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Eh?